guys, and welcome to the show. Tonight is another fun one. 2 nights in a row. I really just came out of the bat swinging. I was like, I'm going to learn how to live stream, and here we are. But thanks to a lot of friends that helped me and inspired me on this plus. Just went out again. Let me know if it's back. Of course, having little mic difficulties, but if you can't hear me, or if you can hear me, let me know right in the chat. I think it's fine though. I'm gonna just test it. It looks like it's okay, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes. So we have special guests here this evening. I'm very excited for them to be here. I actually think my mic is off, so you guys bear with me a moment. We're just gonna plug and play this in here. Hi, Nigerian. Hi, everyone. Okay. Technical difficulties, of course. There we go. Okay, we're back on. We're good. You guys can hear me. Hi, Giovanni. Hi, everyone. So I'm very excited. We have guests this evening, and they actually brought me onto their podcast a couple weeks ago, which was very kind of them. And I love their content. They're huge on both YouTube and TikTok. They're crushing it. I'm going to read a little bit of a bio about them, and then I'm going to show you guys a really fun video, and then I'm going to bring them on stage. If you haven't already, hit subscribe for either my channel, Jenna Morgan, and then also the new party, and give this live a thumbs up if you haven't, and give me a little comment below. Let me make sure that you can hear me again. Yes, at the new party. Perfect. They just posted it in the chat. So you guys, the new party is a multi-ideological team that is nonpartisan with differing perspectives on politics, world news, and pop culture. We have been established since May 2024 and have been guests on Dana with the data from the Man Up show with Judge Joe Brown. Previous guests include Kaizen, sorry if I'm saying that wrong, retweeted by Elon Musk. That's amazing. Jay Jackson featured on Fox News, and Kelly Corrine featured on Anton Daniels Network. You guys, they are freaking awesome, okay? I'm going to play a little video, and then I'm going to bring on the team.
Get out. Two Georgia women's...
Wrong video. Here it is.
Number one, it's a group of people that's on a panel. We all have differences, but we all basically still come together at the end of the day. The new party for me is about unity. The new party for me is about educating people to the truth, letting people know what's been going on in our country. With that being said, shout out to the new party, man. We're going to keep it going with y'all.
Here they are, you guys, the new party themselves. Wow. This is so fun. Look at all my friends. How are you guys doing?
All right, and you?
Good.
Never better. Also, no rules. Chime in whenever you want, okay? Talk over me. I really don't care. We're just, being organic, having fun. But I'm curious for each one of you, just what got you started in content, especially political content? I know you guys just started so recently too. It's amazing how much you've done so far. So I just would like to know a little bit about you guys and have my audience kind of know as well.
I'll go first.
Perfect.
I was actually in the cannabis industry, and I was selling to other entrepreneurs for people who own dispensaries or smoke shops or things like that. So I started creating content on YouTube to help get customers. And so I was in that business for a while, had a business partner here that moving actually to New York, where you're from, Jenna. So after that, I still had a YouTube channel. I had just got monetized. And then Nora and a guy who was in the new party named D kept asking to debate me. They were like, "Oh, we want to debate you. Why you're a Democrat, blah, 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 blah." So I said, okay, listen, I'll debate you guys, but you got to do it on my YouTube and my social media. So we said, sure, come up with a name. We came up with a name, and that's how the new party got started.
Love it. That's amazing. Nora?
For me, I have a background in television and radio. Ever since I was in high school, I was a part of my local TV station. It was like a college, like a local station connected with my high school. So I was doing that, and then I went to Florida A&M. I was on the radio for 3 years. Then moved. Life happened, and I got away from it. So I really want to thank Gray for sharing his platform to give me this opportunity. So I'm just doing what I love to do with my two best friends, D, who is taking a break right now, but Gray and D are my two male best friends. So I really appreciate them. And we talk, we laugh, we grow. And I just really love when I hear people say, we love the concept that you guys came up with. And the fact that I was one of the founders, it's an honor.
I knew you were in TV or something. I could tell by the way you talk. I was like, this is not, you don't like really learn that. It's like a natural gift.
No.
You know what I mean? So it makes sense. That makes sense. Vulgar, what's up?
Hey, how's it going?
Wonderful.
So for me, I've always been into music production and engineering, and I've always had a lot of equipment. I went through some things in my past as far as like divorce, and I started realizing that a lot of the plight that men are going through, and that got me on social media really speaking out about that. And then I had a change of heart as far as politics. I realized I was being played, so I became conservative and really started going with that and trying to spread the word, my story, why I became conservative, and maybe to help some other people. So that's pretty much how I got into it. And then I just like debating people. I like running my mouth. So I was like, let me take it to the internet. And that's how I got here.
Exactly. Nothing better than running your mouth, truly. And that's what I love about you guys too, is that you all have different views. You're not in one party. And also maybe if you have a certain view for one issue, it could shift for another. And I love that, because I think oftentimes just with politics, people get so defensive about it because they think if you believe just one thing, that means you believe that same way for every issue. I don't know if you guys have faced that. I know when I first started posting content, I lost like so many friends because they just assumed my view on, okay, I voted for Trump. For example.
I'm still losing people.
Yeah, are you?
Yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess if they're meant to go, they're meant to go, right?
And that's what it's like a purge. You're gonna lose them, and then you're gonna gain your supporters.
Exactly.
So I never let it bother me.
As a Democrat, I'll say I didn't stop being friends with anyone. I was shocked at some people who were MAGA, especially people in my family. But I didn't cut them off. I didn't say, oh, you're doing this. And of course, Nora was MAGA. I was kind of shocked with that too, but I didn't like get enraged. I just had a conversation, but we debated on topics. And I feel like the more you talk to people and you understand their stuff, because I understood where Nora was coming from her personal perspective on why she wanted to be a Republican or was voting for Trump.
It's so true. It's so much about I feel like people think politics are just these like logistical and like you have to be an expert in it also. It's not. It's opinion. It's who's our leaders. It's like human behavior. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
Yep.
So anyways, I have a couple stories I wanted to cover today, and we'll see how far we get into it. But as you guys know, I live in New York City, and yes, the big apple, which we'll see, I'm not going to lie, it's always special during the holidays, except there really has been so much crime. I haven't heard, I don't know if they're reporting it more. What do you guys think? Because I've heard a couple things. Either they're just somehow seems to be reporting it more, or crime is rising in New
I
York
think
City.
crime is rising because why would they want to prove Donald Trump right? Why would they want to prove the Republicans right when the media is run by left-leaning people, and they would love to prove there's no crime and there was no reason for Kamala to lose. So I think there really is crime. I mean, and the level of it's being caught on camera. It's disgusting. I really pray for all my family members, because I have family there, for their safety.
Yeah.
I would say exactly what you just said, cameras. So I don't think that it's necessarily on the rise because everything's recorded. If you commit a crime now, supposedly New York City is supposed to be the safest place in America because of all the
Yeah,
technology and cameras and how much police it is. So I think if you commit a crime now, the chance of you getting away with it is slim.
Well, Mangione got away with it for 5 whole days. He made it all the way to Pennsylvania.
You know what? You could have all. I'm learning that you could have all the technology in the world, but if you don't have that climate or for cops to do their job, a lot of stuff is just getting, pushed under. I've noticed it here in my city. A lot of cops just let stuff go. They don't even prosecute it anymore.
It's almost like they're not allowed. Maybe I don't, because you guys, I posted the video. Exactly.
The immunity thing. That's one, like a lot of cops may fear now. I don't want to risk getting in trouble because they don't want to give me that immunity that if I do my job, I'm not at risk personally. So I think that could have a lot to do with it too. But I do notice in my city, the cops let a lot of stuff go. It got to be real serious.
Where are you again? I forgot.
I'll be between Missouri and Georgia.
Okay.
So
okay.
Yeah. Right now I'm in Kansas City. So.
All right, you're a floater. You're a floater.
Yeah.
No, I don't know if you guys saw the full video of the woman that was on fire. I'm not going to play that. I'm going to play something else in a moment. But I mean, the cops, 2 of them walked past her
right by
multiple times. That was so odd to me. I'm still trying to understand, and I'll add this nugget in. I read about intense burns. What happens to the body, because I showed my brother this footage and he was like, how is she standing? Like if she's that like engulfed in flames, how is she standing? Then you look like she goes and grabs for the handlebar. And so I was reading about this, and basically if she was that engulfed in flames, her throat and her vocal cords were probably burned at that point. So she wouldn't have been able to let out a sound of help. And then the second thing is that some of those movements could have been like her nerves just like responding. It's still just nuts. I don't know what I don't know. What do you guys think?
That
I'm traumatized. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Volker.
So you remember when they used to teach you stop, drop, and roll?
Yes.
A lot of that was taught. It's just like if you're in police training, they teach you how to go cover your gun if you get pepper sprayed. They teach you how to think in emergency situations. So I think the stop, drop, and roll was supposed to teach us that if we're on fire, even if we can't control it, stop, drop, and roll. It's supposed to be programmed. So if she didn't have that, yeah, she could have just been panicking and her brain froze up.
Well, not even just that. She was sleeping at the time. She was asleep on the train when he set her on fire, and he was drunk, and he was a migrant, and he was living in a shelter. And actually, he's on the tape, by the way, if you've ever seen the tape. He's the only one fanning her. Mind you have all these men with their cameras out. No one was doing anything. It was the most, I will say that's the most traumatizing thing I've personally ever seen in my life.
I'm gonna have to view. I haven't seen it, but that's wild. If that's
So was he fanning her to help or to make the flames stronger?
I think he realized, oh snap, this is the one I set on fire. Let me try to when you're really drunk, you're like, oh, I don't know what I'm doing. Let me stop her. He was gone. He was really gone, and he was on camera talking about how depressed he was before he did it.
Oh, I didn't see that part. Oh,
there's a tape of him in Spanish speaking.
You got another piece to the puzzle.
Mm-hmm.
Gray, what did you think?
I haven't seen it either. I mean, I heard about it and I've seen a lot of people talking about it. But like we said, with technology and with us, we're walking around, people have the cameras out. I think people are desensitized. And like now, if you look at society, the first thing a person do is pull their camera phone out before they even help you. I don't know if y'all know the rapper Young and Ace. He got shot up, and he was saying that he got in a car like to get help, and nobody was helping him. They were just recording him, and the police didn't get called till his girlfriend got there.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. It is the Daniel Penny effect though too. That's what's so awful about that case. And I kind of sometimes, as I'm just thinking about the last couple of weeks, it really feels like we're in a weird parallel universe. Like certain things are happening that are like mirroring other actions, and it's just kind of weird. I don't know. It just feels like so much is going on. I want to play this from this morning. This happened Monday this morning at 1 a.m. or like 1:30 a.m. Mostly just reading it, but the blood you see.
Mm-hmm.
This is the one that did it, this guy?
Yep. So basically, he slashed someone in the neck, just went up behind them and slashed them in the neck. That was at 57th Street and 8th Avenue. Pretty bustling area, you know, it's kind of like the middle of Manhattan. And
Okay.
to me, it's just wild. It's wild again, because did you guys also see Kathy Hochul, the governor? She made a comment about how crime is down, and it happened to be the same day the woman got lit on fire. My question is, do we think she was like paying attention to the news, or did she see that and still was like, no, but it is still safe, like trying to like calm people down?
I'm not sure. I mean, I can't. I don't know what she might have been doing because I don't know if she had the information yet. But I know it was a big uproar. You probably know more because you lived there when they were saying they took all the money and they put it on the subways with the cameras and everything like that. So, I mean, and there's been so much talk, especially about right-wing people, about immigrant crime, and then the immigrant does this. So, no pun intended, but just more fuel to the fire.
Yep.
I would say it's a mixture of both.
Of her trying to put out the flames, or
No, you were saying, do you think they're trying to suppress the image of the city by saying crime is down?
yeah. I mean, I'm sure they don't want people to panic, I guess. Yeah. My thing is, why not have more cops actually on the trains? So
Exactly.
it's strange. Like they're at the entrance. Yeah.
They ain't got no cops though, Jenna. You know that. They don't want to be cops. Why would you want to be a cop if anybody can walk up on you and unalive you? Number one. Number two, you can't do your job because you're going to be prosecuted, like because there's no police immunity. Yeah. So they ain't got no cops.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Jerry. My bad.
No, it's okay. It's okay. You go, please.
I think New York has the most cops than anybody, right? Here's the thing. People say that if you look at cops is like gangs too, is the biggest gang in the country. Now you can say, okay, I don't agree with the civil stuff. I don't think anybody should have to deal with something if they're on their job. Like, I think that's the worst thing because you could have just not went to work that day. I will agree with you guys on that. But I do think there's mostly good cops that just want to do their job. So I don't think that that's what's happening. I think that people just aren't as aware, or, crime, the way they're looking at it is the amount. They're not looking at the severity. I think the severity and the salacious stuff makes us be like, wow, we can't believe this is happening.
It's true. That's very true. I struggle with the psyche of a police officer in the sense of it probably is extremely difficult, especially as being an NYPD officer. You are hated. Like, you're just hated. I saw, like, this happened a couple months ago. There was a group. I don't know if they were migrants. I don't want to like make that assumption because I forgot, but they attacked these two officers in Times Square. And there was a bunch of them. It was 2 cops, maybe 3, and then there was like 10 guys. That is horrifying. Everyone hates you. So how do you actually, I'm just trying to understand now all sides. It's like, yeah, you're almost too afraid to do something just because of either losing your job, discrimination, or being murked yourself.
Yeah. I think it's one thing for the public, certain people to have a bias towards the police and not like them. I think it's another thing when you start to have people in government and politics that come after all police. I think that's been a situation too. Like I said, I was joking earlier with the defund the police, but that goes deeper than that. When you start to spread that, that type of culture, it comes back to bite you. And I feel like that's what's going on across the country now. That attitude of cops being bad, that cops are, unaliving just because they're evil, that has contributed to a lot of cops to do their job now.
I agree.
We have to change that. Like, we have to understand that not all government, not all emergency services are evil people out to hurt. They're actually there to protect and serve the majority.
I think the culture of police has to change. Like, we don't complain about firefighters. I do understand the police do have a hard job, but you're dealing with a population and they're American citizens. So you have to have some form of customer service. I think they need better pay, more technology, and maybe like psychological training. Because with Sonia Massey, she was having a mental health situation and she contacted the police for help, and then it turned into that. And if there would have been somebody there with psychological training, they probably could have de-escalated the situation.
That was a tough one to watch. I hated that. Yeah, that was awful. Nora, were you going to add something? Sorry.
Oh, no. I'm just baffled by the amount of crime there is and the amount of ignorance of the entire state and city of New York. I will say, I think, what's his name? Your mayor, Eric Adams, kind of is acknowledging it, but he's so far gone with all his scandals that he's not even respected at this point, unfortunately. So the one person that is acknowledging it has their own scandals going on. So I really hope that the next 4 years they acknowledge there's a problem, and hopefully Trump, because he's from there, will assist and maybe provide what do they call it, National Guard, activate the National Guard, because at this point I think that's what it's going to take. Someone on our team sent a video, I don't know how true it is, but that there are National Guards. Is that true, Jenna? They claim that it's true. I don't know.
I heard that too. I heard that too.
Okay.
But I'll show you what they are putting in. This is the next video I have. This came out 2 days ago.
Walking through the cars, which is something the police no longer do. Notice there are no mental health workers, there are no crisis intervention. They have all these fancy names. I never see them. And we spend millions of dollars on my day. Our job is, A, do a wellness check on a homeless person. If they're homeless or emotionally disturbed, see if they're okay. If all of a sudden we walk into a situation where there's an episode, which oftentimes happens, we have to calm it down. A lot of times, these homeless and emotionally disturbed persons, they know of the guardian angels. We can have a calming effect. We can also bring the situation to the attention of cops on the platform. If there are cops, you're going to probably see them on the platforms. Generally, that's why we always stick our heads out at the station, and we always check to the north, to the south. If there are any police officers, we would hold the door open, tell the conductor, we need the police presence here. Citizens won't do that because, unfortunately, the Daniel Penny effect has frozen them. They're not going to get involved.
The Daniel Penny effect.
I've seen grown men who normally might have gotten involved. They're just not getting involved any longer. We train. This is what we do. We know how to do it. And we'll coordinate it once we get on the train with the conductor, who obviously has more freedom than the motorman, but we'll obviously make sure that that train is stopped and that the police respond, and that we keep order in the car so that nobody gets hurt, including the emotionally disturbed person or the homeless person.
So the guardian angels are coming. That's what that crew is called. I actually didn't even know that was a crew in New York. So that is amazing. But it's true. Like, the cops aren't on the trains. And that's when it happens. Like, imagine you guys, like, sometimes in between stops, it's like, could be max 7 minutes. It depends. Sometimes like 2 minutes, 3 minutes, but like 7 minutes, you're underground. It is scary if you think about it.
That's what I said about Daniel Penny. I said, everybody calling him out, you need to imagine there was no cop, you underground for a good 7-8 minutes. What would you have done? Like, and especially if this person is acting irate every single day.
Yeah, and that guy, Jenna, you probably know about it. It's actually a documentary that he was in. It's called True PD. It was a lot of crime in the 80s, and they were like trying to police people. And there was a guy that they tried to rob on the subway. Then he shot the kid, and then he said, "You want another one?" He shot him again. You know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
Yeah. So they actually have done this before. I just wanted to point that out to people.
To bringing the guardian angels on the train, you're saying?
Yeah.
I'm excited to see one of them. Truly.
For sure. I mean, like,
You got to let us know, Jenna.
I know. I'll take a little selfie. Like, hey, heroes.
Yeah, let me know about the National Guard.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's interesting, and I'm sure also the fact that, again, we're getting closer to inauguration, and also this week is, it's New Year's Eve, you guys. That's the biggest thing in New York City. Who doesn't watch the ball drop, right? Like, it is such a huge thing around the world. So, or maybe the country. I don't know if the whole world watches it.
I think it's the whole world. I remember
Right?
always watching that as a kid. And my father, he'll ask, "Did you watch the ball drop?" And he's in Morocco, which is in North Africa right now. And he always asked me that. I think they do watch it there, actually, to be honest, to be quite frank with you, they do.
It's a huge deal. So I think it's extra. We do always, New York City gets extra vigilant around this time. And now I'm just wondering and I hope nothing happens.
Me too.
I've just been a little anxious, I think, because of things I've shared with you guys, but also just kind of what's happening in the political environment. It seems like there's a lot of disarray going on. And it seems like there's a lot of migrant crime.
For sure.
Yep.
I seen the ball drop. I'll never do it again in person. No bathrooms.
You went in person?
No bathrooms. It sucked. It was horrible.
How does that work? I don't get it.
You've never seen it and you live there?
No. I think if you're a New Yorker, you don't go.
You're over
Stay
it.
away from tourist areas.
Or you walk. Like, I
Yeah.
one time was very lucky. I got invited to someone's apartment that lived around there, and you could see it from.
That's cool.
Yeah, you could see it from the apartment, but I don't think too many people like really get in there if they're from New York. But because I also heard there's no bathrooms, so I don't understand.
Right. It's
What? There's no bathrooms?
No, people don't let you go in there. Even the like restaurants and stores are like, no, you can't use.
Where do you spend your money?
Yeah.
What if you're like, I'll
You're
buy
basically
something?
stuck. I had to like walk almost like to like Jersey just to get out of there. It was no cabs. This was pre-Uber, pre-Lyft. This is like in 2015. I was in the Army. I was stationed there. It was horrific.
Yeah.
It's insane.
Never did New York, but I did the Atlanta piece drop, and I would never do that again. I'm sure New York is worse.
Yeah.
They start trampling people, gunshots ring out. I was good. So I could just imagine what New York is like.
Oh my, that brings me kind of to my next story. However, I didn't have a clip for this because I forgot to grab it in time, but we're just going to talk about it. So this is a brief one.
Okay.
It's about trampling. I watched this video of this. She is kind of like a witch / she has psychic abilities. And let me ask you guys first, do you believe people can have those types of abilities?
I don't. But do I think that is people that's just a super fad and trendy with the crystals and tarot cards and stuff, especially with young women? Yes. Go ahead, Nora.
I'm a very spiritual person, so I do believe when you're in tune, you can use it for positive or negative. So yes, I do believe, but I will tell you, I personally will never go see one of those people because as a Christian, I believe you shouldn't do that. But also, I feel like you invite that spirit in, and there's the power of words. And like if someone says something bad, like you just put that out there in the universe, and like it can happen.
I'm going to say no. I believe, and I've heard people say this that are into like witchcraft and these type of things, that they'll tell you it works better on insecure people or people who don't know themselves or have like a lack of knowledge on life.
Yes.
That you can, to me, it works on them. But if somebody who has moral standards and carry themselves securely, won't be affected by that. So I think it's just a social thing. It's manipulation.
Facts.
That's what I'm trying to say.
No, I agree. And a very brief story. Before I got saved by God, and I think I told you guys I'm Jewish, but I do believe in Jesus. So I'm a Jew
Oh,
for
I didn't know
Jesus.
that.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
Jenna. Okay, we gotta
Yep.
bring you back.
Yeah, you gotta let, because
to talk about that at least. Yeah.
I would love that. I would love that. So it's a messianic Jew. And there's a bunch of us. We exist. Okay. So actually my uncle is a messianic rabbi. He's been a rabbi for 30 years. He's a Jew that believes in Jesus. I'll have to send you guys videos after. He's an amazing testimony online. He's been on a couple, like, I don't know if you guys know Sid Roth, his show.
Yeah.
And like One for Israel. Anyways, my point is, briefly, before I got saved, I was involved in spirituality, but in the like weird paganistic way. And I didn't like connect to it thinking I was being like witchy. I thought this was like how you get closer to God. I always believed in God. I was raised Jewish, went to Hebrew school, bat mitzvah, but I thought that this type of like these shamans and these healers was like the way to God. So why I share that, and thankfully the Lord saved me, and I immediately threw everything out. I'll have to tell you guys that story another time. But so I agree with everything you guys said. It's not of God, 100%, no way. I do believe, just like I believe in God, I believe there's an enemy. And I think people, when they access that energy, they kind of do tap into things that are very dark. And that brings me to this story of the Travis concert. Why am I forgetting his full name?
Travis
Thank you. Yes, thank you. The Travis Scott concert where the people got trampled and several people died. This woman is saying that was a ritual. That if you go back to the video, the music playing, if the undertone of the song that was playing was very demonic. It had this like really deep, like undertone song happening. The structure on the stage was like this, that his like mouth and that arch symbol. It was his like face, but like the big mouth. And so it's like this arch symbol. And
it represents something like a sign for something. And let me say this for those that are watching that are not deep in the word, there is a thin line between good and evil. It's a spiritual battle we are in, people. You don't have to believe in Jesus, even though I highly suggest you do. But if you don't, start believing in that, because we are in a spiritual battle right now. And I know y'all looking at me crazy, but it's facts. And so I believe you can't become a billionaire or be with a billionaire like Kylie Jenner without that. So do I believe this is possible? Yeah, I do.
So the Travis Scott head is supposed to be Nebuchadnezzar?
I don't know
the
exact
something in the Bible, because I know that it was like a 90-foot statue of gold.
I don't know if it was a specific person from the Bible.
Okay.
I want to get it.
But I think it was like a demonic like structure, spiritual. It was set up as like a ritual.
But I think I could rule out the ritual and the spirits, and it may have been spirits.
I have the clip, Jenna, if you'd like to share it. It's on X. I know what you're talking about. I can have the clip when you were talking about it.
I can grab it. Can you share from here, right?
Yeah, I'll share. Share
what I was gonna say is to go down this rabbit hole. I actually have a neighbor and a friend from the show, and I've heard from multiple Republicans that They believe that this is Illuminati stuff, that this is demons, and this is, something much more supernatural. And I do feel like there's a large portion of MAGA Republicans that believe in certain conspiracies or certain spiritual beliefs, and that's why they voted for Trump, because they believe there's something supernatural at work during the election. So, I mean, I've heard that from multiple Republicans.
Wow.
Yeah, I haven't heard that one.
And well,
You
I would
haven't?
say it. Yes,
No.
we are in a demonic battle. We
But
are in a
also
demonic
logical.
battle. Kamala Harris was a witch.
Hey, yes.
And I'm gonna just leave it at
See,
that.
I told you, Volker. That's what I told you.
Yeah, I ain't heard that one.
Did you
I
guys
Well, be
hear-
careful what I say. We gotta go on my rumble.
Did y'all
Jenna.
hear they
That's
said
another thing.
Yeah, we
Beyonce,
should.
halftime show was some type of Illuminati ritual? Did y'all hear that?
Beyonce?
Yeah, the one that she just did on Netflix.
Yeah, and I did hear that. And also
Yeah,
how
see?
she said she would never perform in a red state, but give her enough money and she'll do anything. So
Did she really say that?
she did. She
Yeah.
literally
I
said
thought
after
that was a
Trump
joke.
won. No, she said that after Trump won, I'm never going to perform in a red state. Goes to the most red state, Texas.
She
Pink said
forgot
the
then.
same thing too. Pink said that if you support Trump, don't come to her concert. But I'll play the clip while we on it.
Go.
Because I found it.
Perfect.
And yeah, don't worry, I'll put you guys on, Volker. You're gonna learn all about it hanging with me.
Volker, I can't believe you've never heard, like, this is why some people voted for Trump. I'm shocked.
No.
Wow.
I've heard people speak against or saying why we shouldn't because they consider him to be the Antichrist. But other than that, I've never heard. Because, they said the Antichrist
I'll
is supposed
mute
to
it because
teach to
they're
all
in a
nations.
different language.
Okay.
So they're pretty much saying that it was due to like Masonic things. And that's what they're comparing it to. Is this what you're talking about, Jenna?
I don't see any. Is something up?
Yeah, we don't see anything.
Really?
Yeah.
Hold on.
Do I have to do
Let me-
something on my end or?
I don't think so. We should be fine. Can y'all wait. Can y'all see this now?
No.
No.
But to just
Yeah,
continue.
then I don't know.
Yeah,
Well,
it's
I'll try to find it. Keep going. Yeah, go. I'll try to find it.
It's a lot of people who think that this dark spiritual stuff going on, and that you saw somebody just say the witch, but yeah, Volker. So you voted based on straight facts. You didn't vote based on any spiritual warfare.
No. I have heard some stuff that Alex Jones used to talk about, but that was like years ago.
Okay.
Jen, I sent it in the
yeah.
chat privately
Oh,
with you.
perfect.
Where he's saying the rituals they used to have and stuff like that. Or he claimed he snuck into one. I did watch that stuff years ago, but not anything recent.
So, Dora, what's the recent stuff of the?
There's just so much. And Kelly, shout out to Kelly Corinne. Thank you for watching. We talked about it. That them eating food off of people. That's a part of it. The children that are surrounding them. That's a part of it. It's just so much.
The children stuff. Vo, you heard of Pizzagate,
Yes.
right?
Pizzagate. We can't. Let's be careful what we
Yeah,
say.
We could do this on Rumble though,
Pizzagate.
because
Yeah.
Pizzagate's part of it. Also the fact that there's so many celebrities with transgender children, that is an agenda.
100%.
That's part of it.
100%. I have it. I said a theory. Hold on. I think I got it. Okay.
Look at Vulgar's face. Vulgar's like, these people are crazy. It's okay, Vulgar. We all part of MAGA somehow, some
Do you
way.
hear how deep this sound is?
No, we can't hear anything.
Oh, you don't hear this?
Mm-mm. Can y'all hear? I can't
Yeah, I
hear.
can hear it.
Oh, okay, then it's me. Because I have an issue with this StreamYard in my headphones. Thank you,
So,
Kelly. Kelly
Just
said
the like deepness of the music. He's just there singing. First of all, like tell me how he can't freaking see what's right in front of him. Like, how do you not? He's up on a platform. How do you not see all that's happening? So basically, this is I'll have to find this another time, but the clip is like the woman basically saying, yeah, the sound, the fog, the structure, the way he's standing, and people are dying. So it's like he's sacrificing lives. So it's just, I just wanted to share kind of controversial, interesting thing. See what you guys thought of that.
I don't see nothing spiritual. I see drugs. That's all I see.
Well, don't people do drugs? Don't
I
people
just
do
see
drugs
they were.
to tap
I
in?
have more clips.
That's what I'm
for you.
saying.
Hold
like,
on.
Okay.
People minds altered.
Well, yeah, but
So you're saying you think he was high on something? That's what you're saying.
I think
Walter,
all of them were.
You would.
It was like Diddy, they was passing the glass.
oh yeah.
Just passing it around.
So much is I can't wait for all of that to come out. I mean, my
It's
goodness.
never going to. I don't think so. I think
Well,
it's just like
y'all see the one about the DJ?
Now,
No.
what happened with the DJ?
Apparently, the DJ was out on the couch, just sitting there, just dead weight. And Diddy was like, "Look, this the DJ. The DJ never supposed to pass out. But when you come to a Diddy party like that, yeah." And I think maybe the DJ drunk out of the wrong glass. So, allegedly,
dear.
I would say, but yeah.
Allegedly. Here's this one that Nora just sent me. See if I need it.
Is that what you're talking about, right? With the
structure, having the open mouth structure, and mostly the deep, like the way he's singing during this specific time, and like she was saying these like deep undertones. You can feel the evil. What's this one? Oh yeah, the same one. Was it 8 Grammy nominations and 8 deaths? That is interesting. The numbers. Look at that. That's wild. It's wild. It's wild. So it was just that was my fun little, well, I don't know if it's call it fun, but less.
The guys don't think it's fun. They're like, these girls are crazy, especially Volker. Gray's used to my craziness. He calls me a conspiracy theorist.
What's the guy that made it? The guy that made everybody drink the Kool-Aid.
I know who you're talking about.
Oh, Jim Jones.
Jim Jones.
Yeah,
Jim Jones.
That is. I have to take all the spells and witchcraft out of everything.
That's not the same. That's not the same. He was the devil took over him. He was doing something great in his church, by the way. I don't know if you guys know about his church, but he was a pastor for Black people at the time, and which was very controversial in the 70s, and he united people. And then I don't know, I guess because what he was doing was uniting people, he wanted to leave the states but also he was doing a lot of demonic things. Let me be clear about that. He was sleeping with people in the church. But the point I'm making is there are good and there are bad people, and I think the bad people turn good people off from church. So I definitely get where you're coming from, Volker, but God wants us to be close to him, and I'll leave it at that.
But let me ask you this: how would you get more people quicker? By being bad from the start, or disguising it as good first, and then when you get people in your trap, then you pounce on them? Like, I don't think anything that's that big that got that many followers is going to start off evil. It's going to start off as a legit organization. And then
it's like a cult, right? The way they slowly groom you. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, that's what Jim Jones did. Jim Jones sucked in politicians, because politicians used to go to his church. The one who's connected to Kamala, the boyfriend, the ex-boyfriend, he was a member of his church in San Francisco. I don't know if you know that. He was a good friend of his. Wow. And he used to tithe and give and attend service every week. And here we are. And then they went off to I think it's Guyana. And that's when, they drank the Kool-Aid, thousands, including children.
I feel like this type of stuff has always been the entertainment industry with conspiracy theories, but it's becoming more into politics. It's getting blurred. I don't know how much we can say on here, but filming the moon, people didn't believe that for a long time, and a lot of stuff. So now in today's age is with politics and entertainment, where people even try to connect Diddy to the Democrats. So Volker, I'm shocked that you're a MAGA person that haven't heard any of this.
For real.
Nah, I'm just more about doing what's right, what I feel is right, logic, standing on something like the Constitution. All the
That's
other stuff
good.
doesn't it doesn't
These are
resonate with me.
rabbit holes for sure, but and I mean it's interesting to go down, and I go down them almost sometimes like too much, but that was my fun. I don't know, that's a bad word, but because it's not fun, it's just an interesting. You can go really far down these holes, and I'll leave it at that for now.
But you remember what I said about the being secure and being your own person? That's an example. These fans with Travis Scott. A lot of these people who become fans will do anything. I'm sure we all know somebody who will leave a spouse for somebody in the industry. So that's what I mean by being insecure. You could mold people that way, and that's really what it is. He has a big following, and it's turning into a cult following. If they're
For sure,
if they're doing these things and standing around, still going to the shows even after they seen what happened. Yeah.
If you put anyone as an idol before God, you're gonna, you're gonna be following the wrong thing. So, and that's what they do. That's why I agree. That's why I am so clear on the fact that these people are like either witches or they worship the wrong thing because of that power that they sometimes have over people, and I so agree with what Nora said. And that's kind of why I even got into politics, was because of it is a spiritual war. Like that's what it is. It's not left and right anymore. Not to say that the left is purely evil. I'm not saying that, but like certain things are, it's good and evil. That's what we're talking about. That's what I'm talking about majority of the time. So with that,
good on you.
Anyone, I want to go to this next topic, but does anyone have anything else to share on this? Great. I'm very excited to talk about this next thing with you three because I've had some personal stories but I want to play this clip, and here it is.
Another pharmacy in the Massachusetts 7th, this time on Warren Street in Roxbury.
Oh, this lady.
A community that is 85% Black and Latino. This closure is a part of a larger trend of abandoning low-income communities like the previous closures in Mattapan and Hyde Park, both in the Massachusetts 7th. When a Walgreens disrupt the entire community, and they take with them baby formula, diapers, asthma inhalers, life-saving medications, and of course, jobs. These closures are not arbitrary, and they are not innocent. They are life-threatening acts of racial and economic discrimination. Mr. Speaker, Walgreens is planning to close yet another pharmacy.
So that's the clip. So, okay. I completely disagree with what she's saying. And this relates to a couple of things I've been saying about or hearing about my friends. I have some friends that work at Lululemon here in New York City. And I'll play this next one before we all just kind of chime in. This is about a couple years ago, I think. These Lululemon employees got fired because of them calling cops on people that were stealing. So here's this next one.
Fired from their jobs at Lululemon after calling police to report this robbery, which one of them caught on camera. No, you can. Jennifer Ferguson and Rachel Rogers describing to NBC affiliate 11 Alive Atlanta the horrifying moments the merchandise at the Peachtree Corner store was stolen.
$1,000 worth of
they
pants.
were fired
Just
from their jobs after they decided to call the police about the shoplifting, something they say they were told is against company policy.
So I actually have a couple friends that work at Lulu, and it's true. They're not allowed to step in at all. Because it's discrimination.
Yep. And they're big on that there.
For sure.
When you go woke, you go broke.
That's
this is what I'll say about it.
Is in my neighborhood in Atlanta. That's funny.
If you in the hood and then
I know exactly where that's at.
You young and you starting out.
The person when you show that lady, she'll be the same.
Oh wait, can you hear Gray talking?
No.
Go ahead, folks. Go ahead. But what I was saying was like, when you in the hood and you starting out, like I'm not surprised that any of that happened, but also like,
Are y'all
yeah,
able to
you
hear him?
can't like blame it and say, oh, like, because it's a business, you have to survive, so you have to move if like people are like stealing the products. But as far as like them calling the police, I actually worked with Nora at Walmart. That's how we know each other. When I was in college, that was my college job, and you're not allowed to chase the people or touch the people or anything because they don't want to be sued. Like it was two managers at a different one when I was in high school. They chased a guy that stole a bike and they hit him and they got fired because the company doesn't want to be liable for anything that happens with the customer.
Which I get that in terms of, I don't like, as an employee, if you step in, then you're at risk for getting hurt. Like that's the only point I see it, right? Like I don't, like, who knows if some of these people have weapons on them, which I know some people that have had that experience, but for them to fire them they called the cops. They didn't necessarily, try to stop them. They just called the cops on them and then they were fired.
No, there's a line. So I did loss prevention with Best Buy
Okay.
years ago, and there's a line you can cross. Like you have to know the law, or you have to be law enforcement. So say you thought somebody was stealing, or they did throw something in their shirt, right? But right before they walked out the store, they just dropped it. They had a change of heart. You didn't see that. So if you apprehend them, and then it come to find out they left it before they left the last point of sale, the company could be sued for a lot of money. So instead of being sued, they basically tell you, do not just, if you see it, if you get it on camera, fine, call the police. That's why the part about them calling the police and getting fired, that's weird to me. But anything else, you're not supposed to act on anything. When I was at Best Buy, I had brandish a gun as they were walking out, because you could stop, you could, hey, do you have this, or hey, put it back, but you can't do anything physical. Once they brandish the gun, I just let them go.
Wow. Nora?
All I have to say is that I understand that there's a line. We don't want people to discriminate against people of color. By no means necessary. But at the same time, if you break the law, no matter what color, race, creed you are, you need to be prosecuted. So I think that Lululemon, they have a certain demographic that they sell to. And now, they probably got involved in the DEI stuff and they got to hold true. And this is where when you go broke, you go woke. When you go woke, you go broke. So they're going broke, firing their people. If I was your friend, or not your friends, but whoever got fired, they need to sue them they need to sue them for wrongful termination, because that's crazy. Because they should call the cops because they broke the law. And let me tell you a story. I'm not going to tell you how I know this, certain things with my job. I'll leave it at that.
Sure.
I know of situations I'm not going to say the story either. Big name store. I'm going to tell you what I witnessed. And what happened was the person ran out the store with a cart full of merchandise, ran to the car. Then they came with the van and they tried to run over the employees that were following them out the door. And they ran into the glass of the store and the people got hurt. So the point I'm making is, when someone's committing a crime, you should call the police, because they're going to continue to commit crime and they can hit you and hurt you and shoot up the place, do all sorts of things. So I think they did the right thing for those reasons.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's wild though, that it's almost like you're allowed to steal, and that's why stealing has been on the rise. I mean, there was just I think it was maybe a month ago, this couple got shut down for stealing like over $1 million worth of Lulu stuff over the last couple of years. Like they had like a whole system going, and that's insane. It's insane. And it affects the people that are actually customers or actual taxpayers. Like this is the issue, is like you have to do something. And it bothers me that it's always then related to, well, you're discriminating. That's ridiculous.
Well, Jenna, I always get tempted at self-checkout. So I mean, like, when you have self-checkout, you got these like ways. Like, it was a girl. I don't know who she was, but it was a girl. She's a TikToker, And
Uh-huh.
she went and she put the barcode for like 1 cent or $1, and she recorded herself, and she put all this stuff, recorded it, put it on her TikTok, put it in her car, and recorded a TikTok video and posted it. So they're making it easy for the cops. People are posting their crimes, but I feel like the temptation is there because the ease of access. It was Target, it was self checkout, and she did it. This was a white girl. This wasn't a black girl. I mean, like, when you in the hood, you got a store in the hood, and kids living impoverished, and they already probably doing criminal acts. Your first criminal act is probably gonna be shoplifting. You know what do they call it? Snatch and grab. So I mean,
Yeah.
like, you with the homies. It's like, hey man, we ain't got no chips, we ain't got no money. Let's run into the spot and let's take off. We 15. Like, whoever get caught, get caught. You take the charge. So I mean, keep your mouth closed. So I get it.
It, of course, that's a difficult thing. Yeah, if you live in poverty, it makes you. What other option do you have when it seems like so much is against you? But how do we fix that? What are other ways? Like, I don't know. I don't know the answer, but it seems.
Put them on an island.
Oh, that's extreme. How about we prosecute those that do wrong things, no matter what race, shape, creed they are, and that's the solution. And no cash bail systems, but also no outrageous bail. I'm not pushing that for me, but that's crazy.
No, and I was said that I wanted to go back to that first video. I can't stand when people blame racism for stores closing down.
Right.
It's like gaslighting at its finest. I mean, if you don't steal from the stores, they're going to stay there. And that's what I mean by put these certain people on the island that don't want to do right. They're not going to, they make bad decisions and then expect society to give up everything for them. I might sound mean when I say that, but I really see it like that. If you make the right decisions, you're not going to be, you may be in poverty for a little bit, but if you start to make the right decisions and work hard, you can come up out of that. I know there's going to be some that's stuck there, but it's a lot more stuck there than it should be.
Facts. No,
and
I
really care
agree.
more. You might not be rich, but people who start to care and have some type of respect for themselves, respect for their neighborhood, they can build a stable community. It may not be wealthy, but you could build it to where it's stable. At a time we did have that. Like, a lot of this stuff is just now starting to happen. But I think that's what a lot of people need to change their mindset. Just blaming the store for closing down. Maybe it's a desperation measure that they're doing, but I don't buy it. Stop stealing and they won't shut down. Because if I'm running the business and I'm having a net negative every quarter, I'm going to want to shut down too. There's no reason for me to be there if I'm not making any money off of it. I'm not a charity, you know?
I mean, I feel like if you're talking about the government, Jenna, these are a lot of young kids. I only think they're 18 from a lot of these videos I see. They need after school programs. They need things that they can do where they're not in the streets. I mean, like, this is small to me where they're snatching and grabbing, some misdemeanor, I think, but it's the kids, the young men I'm seeing with the Dracos and all of that and selling drugs. Those where they're doing real time, where we don't want them to graduate from running out of the store to doing something worse. So that's where we need to try to help the youth. And I think you got to do it in public schools.
No,
I agree.
It's the father.
That's where I was about to go. I mean,
it's the father. We got to stop promoting individualism. And how do we raise kids to get married and form households to where you have a strong father, that figure? They're the first police. And that we're getting mad because kids and teenagers and adults are seeing the government police because they didn't see their father as that first authority. That's really what this is about, in my opinion.
So, okay, what if your father's work for the city, he a garbage man, he coming home dirty, he getting barely making $600 a week, but then you got the guy on the block, he got making $5,000 a week. He got a gold chain. He got all the pretty girls. He got the newest car. Everybody respecting him. Who you go try to be like? Your daddy who got to go punch a clock and come home to his wife to a cold beer and a cold meal, or the guy on the block with all the money, all the jewelry, all the cars, everything?
Well, if you had that 2-parent household and that father if he instills his principles in that home, there's a higher chance that child will know that that's a short lifestyle. So a lot, like I said, a lot of it is I was raised like that. There was a lot of street life around me. I may have been around it a little bit, but I never fully got into it. Why? Because my grandparents raised me. My grandfather was very strong, World War II veteran, and he was very strong on me. And because of him, I hated that man for a long time. But the things he said stuck with me, and I never fully got into the street because of him.
I think I think it's difficult. This is a nuanced conversation. I one part really also blame feminism because when a woman becomes too independent, which is the issue, we can be. That's the problem, is a woman can get hyper independent and she can do a lot on her own. Same thing as a man. Both genders can do it on their own, okay? But you can't make a baby on your own. You need both people. So it's the same thing. You can't a child should not be raised by one or the other. It's not to say that a parent can't, but ideally you have both spouses. And then ideally that marriage is healthy. And ideally those people know how to raise children. So, because, if we're talking, there's a lot of families that also have 2 parents, and those parents are the worst humans in the entire world, and they're disgusting and deplorable. So I firmly agree. Yes, we need to bring back the nuclear family. We need to teach people also how to understand what gender roles are, because I think that's why a lot of people have lost understanding how to be in relationships.
Yep.
Jenna, it's funny you mentioned this. We actually had a show on this last week. It was quite interesting. Bulger lost it on the guest that we had. So please go back and watch our show. We had a lesbian feminist on, and I'm pretty sure she was okay with me calling her that.
Yeah.
And she said that we need to break down the patriarchy. And she said that there's no gender roles. There's 58. Am I correct? Bulger says there was 50 something genders.
Yeah, eventually. But it all came back around to you need that structure, that masculine, femininity.
Because in those other types of relationships, there's always someone that's more dominating.
Yeah.
Always. It's just it's so wild. So,
but that's like I say, that's a lot of what's missing. I always say too, like, you got a lot of mothers say I could do it on my own, and a lot of times when a mother gets on a child, like the discipline part, it kind of comes off as nagging, where if you have a strong father and that deep voice, there's more of a respect. And the thing is, we both can, like you said, we both can do it, right? But why? If it's easier for me to do it, why are you working overtime to do that part? When you split the home and you don't have, now you're working overtime, you got a job and you still trying to be mother and father. You have put all this extra load on you. You're frustrated. A lot of times the kids, they don't get the best of that one parent. They get the worst, and then they get the frustration because that parent is just wore out trying to raise a kid on his own. And then that goes into, because they didn't get that attention, now it goes into them stealing, running through stores and running the gangs. So they probably get better attention in the gangs. They probably get, more respect for running up in these stores.
Well, what I'll say, you mentioning one thing, Vogel, you not mentioning the love that you get in the streets. I didn't know my grandfather. I didn't know my father. My uncles was on drugs, but the guys on the block, we was homies. If you needed something, you could call them. That's who you hung out with. And then the older guys, you see what they're doing, and they're the ones giving you money. You got holes in your sneakers, they give you sneakers. So a lot of the stuff where we say, oh, the father's not there, a lot of times in the hood, it's the guys that's the criminals that's actually looking out for the kids in the hood. yeah, they teaching them the wrong things. But when your mama on crack, and then they give you some money, something to eat, they give you new sneakers, they give you a backpack, you know, you go idolize who that person is.
Mm-hmm.
So
Well, exactly. The dynamics off. I mean, why is the mom on crack? I mean, maybe she had a drug problem before, but you know, it's probably just so difficult to do it all by herself. What else can you do? You got to have some type of vice.
I feel like y'all forget that it is hard being a single mother.
Yeah.
Hard.
That's
the
what I
hardest
just said.
job I got is being a mother.
That's why we got to pick better. We got to pick better and stay together. Even when people want to leave when it get hard. And I'm like, the honeymoon phase we're off. People need to learn how to work together.
I was exactly going to say that. It's just too many options today.
And
too many options.
The no fault makes it easy. Okay, I'm sick of you. Postpartum. You know, they say now, oh, it's postpartum. I'm not attracted no more. I'm sure there's a lot of people that's not attracted, but you stay together for that kid. And that's how it used to be back in the day. You know, if 2 kids ran off and the woman got pregnant, the men in the village was like, hey, you about to make her right. And they went out there with their shotgun and you had to raise your kid. We don't have that in the community no more. No. Yeah. It's all everyone for themselves. Yeah.
But the women are the ones.
Well, yeah, you're right. 70-80% initiate. But guess who's profiting off of this?
The government.
You got two. It's corporations too, because you got 2 homes now. You either paying 2 rents or you paying for 2 homes. You got more cars. All like you said, you got the lawyers that's getting paid.
Double
the judges
clothes.
Getting
you
paid.
gotta have one set of clothes.
Yeah.
Health insurance. You're not on like a family plan. You have individual plans.
True.
In Russia, you're paid to be a mom.
Yep.
You get paid for like a year to be a mom. Like, pay me. I'll gladly start having children right now.
Who pays you to be a mom?
In Russia, you get paid salary.
Oh, Russia. Okay, I was like, girl, not here.
In different countries, you get like
that was it.
Yeah, in other countries, you get a full year. I think there's even a country you get like 3 years or something. Like, it's just they don't. Our government doesn't support families. That's the issue.
Nope.
They support child support.
Of course.
It's like a PPP loan. They push it out. Hey, you can leave them and we're going to go after them and get. Which
you know what I realized it was a scam? My daughter's father was like, I'm sending you like, let's say I'm making up a number. Let's say $250 a month. I'm like, I don't see $250. I see like $200 a month. Let's say I'm making up a number again.
Sure,
$200. They were taking so many fees. I wasn't even seeing the full amount. And that's when shouts out to me. I was like, look, we're not doing this. Let's work it out. Let's end this because I wasn't seeing it.
Yeah.
Oh, you were like going through the courts for child support.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I love that. Tax your child support. It's ridiculous.
That's what they do.
That's ridiculous. Yeah, oh my man. I mean, they want, again, it's my whole narrative, and I'm sure your guys' similar views. They want us sick, they want us unhealthy, they want us unhappy. That's how they profit.
Oh, don't get started on the food industry.
Yeah, I know. I did a bunch of videos on that this past week, but
we gotta go check it out.
Imitation vanilla asterisk is made from.
Oh man, I have such a theory about this.
Have you heard about that?
No, imitation vanilla, is that what you said?
Yeah. Or like vanilla flavor. Yeah, it's made from beaver anal gland.
Oh, yeah. I mean, all the dyes are disgusting. And your seed oils. And I mean, first of all, what they spray on your vegetables, though, just what they're spraying on all of agriculture. No wonder vegetables don't make you healthy anymore. Like, there's like defense chemicals on vegetables.
I'm going to say this one thing because it's common.
Yeah.
Citric acid. Since 1919, a lot of the citric acid, if you see it on something, they use black mold to grow it.
And we're eating that?
Yeah.
Well, I hear we eat plastic from eating rice.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Microplastics are literally, if you guys haven't started to remove that from your home, I don't know if you guys know I'm like a health freak. That's like.
Oh, then we need to have you come on because I'm a health freak.
That's what honestly started my transition into conservatism. I have this theory about when I healed my mind and body, I was clear. So then I was able to think clearly and not that I was like a liberal, but I just didn't like have a mind of my own. I just was like going with whatever. So I eat carnivore. So that's one thing. And just like everything, I don't put things on my body. The makeup is the only thing. Okay. I haven't cleaned my whole makeup. I do get good clean products, but I, supposedly or not, but like all the products
Vegan.
you use and all of, yeah, I mean, I don't even eat fruits or vegetables. I just eat meat and eggs. That's
What kind of meat?
carnivore.
What kind of meat? Organic?
Yeah, everything. I actually get my meat from a farm in upstate New York, pasture raised. All my eggs, and I eat beef majority of the time, all ruminated meat. So beef, lamb, bison,
I'm
ruminated.
gonna learn about this diet. I can get with this.
Yeah.
I just can't get with the vegan because let me tell you, I believe you need meat. Like I
do.
can't.
You
I mean,
do.
not judging anyone that does. Shouts out to anyone in the chat that does, but probably could get with this more because I like my meat.
Yeah, I'll send you some things. We could definitely do an episode about it. But I would like, just like anything, I would read. I'll send you some there's great doctors like Dr. Anthony Chafee. He is a carnivore doctor. So I think it's also helpful to hear from like an actual professional. And then, but carnivore saved my life in many, many ways. I was vegan for 10 years and I was sick and depressed, truly.
Yeah, it's hard to absorb nutrients out of a lot of plants. The meat makes it easier.
Amen.
Especially like iron. Iron is a big one that's hard to get out of plants.
And if you're a female, it's even more. It's like women don't understand how much you need
on your
fat.
period.
Yeah, and how much you need fat. Like you need it. That's why your skin gets like your collagen breaks down. Your brain is made up of cholesterol. Your brain is fat. You need fat. So
testosterone.
And you need testosterone. I mean,
hormone,
men
the
need
basic
testosterone.
thing of hormones is cholesterol,
Yeah.
and they tell you to cut it. That's why if you do cut it and you go on these fat-free diets, a lot of lifters that get tempers, you get just very temperamental because you need that cholesterol to build zinc. Those are the building blocks for our hormones. Yep.
They taught us wrong. They literally taught us the opposite. There's no such thing as an essential carb. You don't need carbs. You don't need sugars. You need fat and protein. You will die without that. And that just is not what they taught us. So anyways, my other theory.
Y'all remember that pyramid they gave us in school? Like they had like all the foods and stuff.
It's wrong.
All them grains at the bottom. It had all them grains at the bottom. Yeah. Man.
Yep.
Diabetes waiting to happen.
Literally do the opposite of that pyramid. Do the
like
opposite of that
11
pyramid.
servings of grains a day or something crazy.
Yeah,
like
it's disgusting.
Yeah,
it's awful.
That was all for profit.
Of course it is, and that's the most. That's probably one of the most toxic foods in America right now is our grains and our gluten and our flours. It's not even real flour. Everyone says it. They go to Europe and they eat all the pizza and they're fine. They come to America, they have a slice of bread and they are bloated and gain 5 pounds. Our bread and our flour is so contaminated. It's not flour. It's not.
Well, they take out the fiber. And that's what you need. The fiber your body doesn't absorb it. It cleans your body out. And when they take that out, it just turns to straight sugar. So when you eat those like white bread, once you eat it, you can even, next time you have some white bread, watch the taste, it'll turn sweet in your mouth when you taste it. It's really just sugar. So
I learned so much about you, Jenna.
Yeah.
I know. I gave you guys so much.
Yeah, for real. It's like
there was
an onion. I found out so much. It's you guys gave me so much of your time. I'm so appreciative. And you guys are so great. If you guys don't follow the New Party, you got to go follow them on TikTok, YouTube. You guys are on Rumble too, right? I'm on Rumble.
You're on Rumble? Okay. Christine on Rumble. If you guys want to write all your stuff in the chat, everyone can find you. And then before we close out, if you guys want to say last parting words, let's go. Let's go for it.
Thank you, Jenna, for having us. I mean, it was great. We did a fantastic job, and we covered a bunch of topics that I didn't even think about talking about. So I definitely learned a lot. There was a lot of stuff I didn't know, especially about dieting. A lot of stuff y'all taught me tonight, the New Party and Jenna.
Love it. Thank you for being here.
I'd like to say, thank you for bringing me on, and I'm always open to run my mouth, as I said before. And I learned a lot of new stuff, the subjects that you brought up, and the stuff that's going on in New York, definitely I got to look more into that. And let me know what happened if they brought the National Guard into the subways.
I definitely will. And write your stuff in the chat so people can come find you, your handles and things, or if you want to say it out loud, whichever is.
Yeah, you can find me on YouTube at The Vulgar Locker Room.
Perfect.
I'm warning y'all, it's crazy over there, but if you like crazy, come join me.
We love crazy. Thank you.
I'm actually going to be live streaming, guys, tonight at 10 for everyone watching on the New Party channel. I'll be live streaming, partnering with Kelly Kareen. We'll be talking about Elon Musk, aka Adrian Detman, aka what they're doing with the visas. We'll be breaking it down. I've had a crazy weekend and I can't wait to share what I've learned. Also, thank you guys. Please support Jenna for everyone watching on the New Party. She is so awesome. She's so amazing. She's my new friend, and I'm so excited to meet her. But Wednesday night, please, we have an exclusive Black Hebrew Israelite coming on. He wants to give his response. And, we had one before. He said they keep saying he didn't do a good job. I think he did a great job. He was a very nice man. But can't wait to hear their rebuttal. Also, Thursday night, we will be back on for our version of the New Party. We will be talking about Dr. Umar Johnson and our predictions for 2025. And then next week, guys, we'll be going back to our normal live stream Tuesday and Wednesday. And Monday night, we have a special show premiering. Vulgar, Gray, would you like to say the name of what it is?
It's Vulgar.
Yes, it's called The Man Cave, and I'll be hosting
Wow. Wow.
Yes. Where I'll be discussing men's issues with a few other people. Hopefully Nora and Gray are part of that.
For sure.
I'll be producing behind the scenes. You won't see me unless we're going to have me as a guest. But I do want to have it be a respective space for men. It is men empowerment. I don't want to say manosphere because we've decided manosphere is a kind of negative connotation, but it is about men empowerment. Red flags to look for. I went on a date this weekend and the guy said to me, I wish someone would have told me the red flags to look for when I'm dating. So,
Ooh.
Jen, I hope we didn't take over your show. I hope.
No, what are you
I'm
getting?
sorry. I'm not trying to take over.
No. I don't. I'm not that kind of person. You guys, we're all here together. I support you and everything you do. I want to come and know the ins and outs of dating. I'm still single, so if I could get a tip from a man, let me come and listen to how to catch a man because it's hard out here.
Hard.
But thank you guys so much. You guys, please follow them. All three of you. I love you guys. You're so amazing, so generous with your energy and intelligent. And it's exciting to share a space with you all. And you guys, if you haven't following me, subscribe at Jenna Morgan _S. I'm on YouTube. I'm on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. I'm rebuilding because they took me down, but it's okay. We don't let the haters hate on you. You build back up. So come and join me on there and come and watch their shows. I'm going to tune into this. You guys have a great plan the rest of this week and for your future. So I'll definitely be watching. And you guys, thank you so much for being here. And we'll all see you soon in either their channels or mine.
All right.
Have a good night, everyone.
Happy New Year, everyone.
Happy New Year. Yes. Bye.
Happy New Year.
Bye.